Sometimes when playing games we like to have all the elements of designing our own character. Maybe it's because we like to be immersed, I don't know, but there are games out there that allow us to do just that. So I'm Seb and this is the top 10 character customizations in video games. Starting off with Saints Row 2022. Saints Row was one of the only games on the list that allows you to fully choose some interesting things for your character. So for example, some of the good stuff are the replacement legs, or choosing whatever skin color you liked. You could look like the Incredible Hulk if you really wanted to. It had normal stuff like hairstyles and face morphing. It also included to customize your beard, and not all games on this list will allow you to do that. However, compared to some of the other games on this list, a lot of this is selecting things through menu tabs. And I know I'm playing on Xbox, but I feel like I should be allowed to, at this point in time, use my thumbstick to move around and morph my face personally. Anyway, moving on to the next game. The next game on our list is Grand Theft Auto Online, and this game we are allowed to choose our heritage. We're allowed to choose what mother and father we want for our character, and we also get to select how much we want to look like one or the other. This game I found more interesting because in this game it's less about selecting things on the menu and more about using a grid option. So part of this game is where you select the part of the face that you want to change and then use the grid option to change that part of the face. One of the only things that I have a real issue about with this game is you can't really change what the character looks like body-wise. You can't change the body type of them. You're limited to the body type that you've got. So if you want to change your character to make them look more stronger, you can't really do that. And the next game on our list is Mass Effect Andromeda, and like most games on this list, it has hairstyle choices and skin tones, but what I like is the colour options. This game can get very detailed when it comes to the options of customizations that it has, but there's nothing really major that I can really say about this one. I think the lighting's nice in the actual character customization menu, so you can actually see what your character actually looks like in a nice lighting. Apart from that, that's Mass Effect Andromeda for you, and I'm moving on to the next game. And we're moving on to Cyberpunk, and this game is set in the future and I absolutely love it. The amount of options that you get to design with, it's very nice when you consider that this game came out in 2020, that's 4 years ago. And the options of designing your character to make you look like whatever you want it to look like, while also remaining from a cyberpunk future. I absolutely love it. However, the only issue I have with this particular game is that all the details that you can do to your character will only be shown in cutscenes, because this game is a first-person only game, which is the only part that I don't like about it. At least make this a first-person / third-person type game, so I have the option of going third-person at different points in this game. But this game doesn't do that. It's a first-person only, so there's only so many times that you'll actually get to see this character that you designed, which is a shame because there's so much detail into it. And the next game on our list is Hogwarts Legacy, and it's simple, it looks beautiful, the menu is beautiful, and it's very clear to see your character as you're creating it. The reason why I'm putting it up here is mainly because of the simplistic design. However, as much as I love what this feels like in all the options you can do to your character, a few things you can't do is you can't alter the body weight of your character or add a beard. I mean, you can't, because most students at that age are not able to grow beards because, you know, they're still growing up. They're still students. Apart from that obvious choice, you can pretty much design your character to look however you want them to look. And the detail to the character is really nice. So I'm mainly putting this up here because it's simple and it's very detailed. I mean, just look at some of this stuff. It's really nice. And with loads of choices, with hair and beards, choosing weights, applying makeup, this is Fallout 4. This is one of the games with the most character options to design with, and I love it. Choosing whatever gender you want to play as, use the thumbstick or mouse to actually select the area of the face that you want to change. Honestly, this game has probably the most detailed when it comes to character creation. And you know what? Well done. I absolutely love this. This is probably the best out there when it comes to loads of design choices. However, there are still more on the list. Now, moving on to something more interesting. This is FC24. Now, I'm saying this because I was surprised that this is actually built into the game. Because for a game that's not an RPG and is more focused on sports, I wasn't imagining that they would put character building inside here. But yes, it is inside here, and it's not just inside here, it's inside here with a lot of good design choices and details that you can apply to your character. I mean, you have to consider, while I'm saying this is a sports game, and yes, there's a lot of detail, and even though it's mainly focused on playing football as a team, you can play as this character, and you can have him in clubs, and I just think that's incredible. Well done, FC24. Now, when it comes to designing, I think Star Citizen is possibly one of the most unique games out there. Look at all the pin dots on that character's face. You can select them, and you can literally design just from dragging each of those little pin dots and just making your character to look exactly the way you want them to look. I think that's amazing that they haven't only let you design it like this, but they've also pinned out certain dots that you can select and maneuver depending what area of the face that you actually want to change. This is like Fallout, but there's just a little bit more detail than Fallout. That's why it gets a place above Fallout, because it's loads of different options, but it's just made easier and more detailed that you can actually see what you're doing. Honestly, this game deserves to be at the location that it's at, which is number 3 on the list. And this next game, of course, is The Sims 4, and this has got loads and loads and loads of detail onto the character designing, from choosing what age you want to be, to choosing the outfits, to choosing literally every single piece of hairstyle, actually selecting onto the face and changing every bit of detail that you want as much as you want. This game has loads of detail about it. However, there is one thing that it just knocks it off top place, and I'm just going to say it right here. It's the hair for me. It looks very much like it's glued on. There's no strands to the hair like other things we've mentioned in this list. It's a game that needs an update to be at the place where it's at. It's number 2 on the list because of the amount of design changes you can apply to it. However, the thing that stops it from getting to number 1 is the detail. The detail is the only thing that takes it away from the number 1 slot. And the number 1 slot, I might as well mention it right here, it is Starfield. And I think this game, for the character customization at least, is possibly the best out there at this moment in time. I mean, just look at this character. He looks amazing. You can change things like whether you want him thin, heavy, muscular. There's lots of design things that you can do to him, his head, his hair, how you want the shape of the face to be. I mean, honestly, just look at that hair as well. The hair looks so more realistic than other things than we've seen inside this list. It definitely has more detail to it. You can see all those strands. Very, very clean. Very, very nice. Doesn't look like it's glued on. Of course, you've also got the option of choosing what gender you want to play as. I mean, there are limitations on things like beards, but at least the beards that it does have, it definitely allows you to have growing out beards instead of just like close shaven beards. It's very nice just to have every single option available to you. But that's why it gets number 1 slot. It looks clean, the game looks very nice on the detail, but also you get a lot of design choices with your character. I think this is a great game to put at number 1 slot. But what are your thoughts? Tell me what you think the best character customization game is out there. Have I mentioned it? Is there a game I haven't mentioned? I mean, just write it down in the comments if you think there's anything that I haven't put in this list that I should have put in. Anyway, I'll see you guys on another Jump Inside video. Thanks for watching and goodbye.